Hello, welcome to the channel. So today I want to talk about Barbie Sue. If you don't know who Sue is, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she's the one that played. This is for the, I guess, middle-aged girly now, who are also into K drama and Asian drama. So this is like the drama that started it all for me was Meteor Garden in 2001. I remember because I was still at university when it that first started, and I was so obsessed with FSA, which is like F4, which is like this is the Taiwanese drama that is also basically the Boys Over Flower, but Boys Over Flower I think happened in 2010. So this was like in 2001. So early 2000s, and Barbie's Shoe was the main girl, and they have like the original F4 as well. And I was so obsessed, and I was like so into Vanessa Wu back then. I remember like typing out my first fan email onto at university while I was supposed to do some research for my assignment. I was like sending fan email. Anyway, this was like 24 years ago probably. Well, this lady now she was 48, but she recently passed away from an influenza complication um, over the Chinese New Year. And I just want to talk about my feelings about it because I feel like there's something different with this particular celebrity death because I feel like it's my peers, although like she's 8 years older than me, but I feel like I grew up with this person kind of like I'm not really in touch with the Taiwanese entertainment industry, but there was a significant in her work that was basically part of my coming age story and part of my, teenagers and university. And it was part of that culture that shaped fandom or fandom world as we know it. And I think if you're 40 or something, and you're into Asian drama, you definitely know who she is. And we know her as Sanchai. I think that's the way you pronounce it. And I was so obsessed. I remember like going into my friend's place, just hanging out and watching with them and also watching with their mother as well. So it was like one of those. It's like I remember I think it was like 22 episodes. So it was like 22 DVD or 22 VCD back then, so video CD. So you basically have to have all the physical discs so that you can play it on the player. And I remember like not sleeping and just keep watching it and like binging over it. So her dying is very sad, and I just feel really horrible, especially for her husband, because her husband basically is a Korean DJ that they have met like 20 years prior. And they got separated, and because back then Korean entertainment was basically a no dating policy when you are assigned to a label or an agency, so he couldn't date her back then. So after she got divorced a few years ago, he got back into contact and they got married a few months after. So they only been married for like 3 years now, and she died now, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so sad. But at least I hope like she was happy for the last 3 years, and at least like he got 3 years with her, better than nothing, right? But out of that, like condolences, and I'm pretty sure it's very hard and for the family as well. But I guess I just want to talk about my own feelings about it because I feel it's such a it's such like a good landmark, especially in millennial Asian diaspora. That particular TV shows and TV series because it marks our young adulthood so much. And I also feel like it also mark our age as well, right? Like she's 48, so that's close to 50 when she passed away. And like I always remembered her as, a young teenage girl and stuff, as I was a young teenage girl when I was watching her. But now we are all in our um, mid age but there is some sense of, I don't know, I feel like I'm still stuck in that era, in that middle age stuff. And then now, like, one of us, not my, like, a peer that is a celebrity passed away. And I know, like, it feels really different because, like, I know, like, a lot of Korean celebrities have passed away as well, and maybe a lot closer to my age as well. But I feel like I don't really associate them as much to my peers because I think, like, I got hooked into Korean entertainment. Even though, like, the K-pop bit is really early on, but the drama bit is a bit later, like in the maybe, like, as I was heading my 20s. Um, so there's a little bit of a distance with the Korean entertainment bit. And I wasn't like with my friends, or like Korean entertainment was always like a single pursuit. It was always only me and, you know, like, I never watch Korean entertainment as much with other people, but like with the Meteor Garden Taiwanese drama, it was like a life, like a stage of my life where I was still like hanging out with friends and I was watching it as part of like a friend group. So there is also that, like, there is this theme in my head that it was, a social thing to do, like something that as a group you do. So I guess, like, my brain is attaching, her with that particular era of my life. And so it's like a reflection of how much time has passed. And it feels, I don't know, I just feels like a peer has died. I just feel like it was a check-in about age as well. It's like she's not that young anymore. I guess maybe this is how people feel maybe with Michelle Yeoh. If you're in your 60s, you probably feel this way if you have watched her ever since she was like 20 years old or something. Maybe you feel like that. But because, like, Michelle Yeoh is definitely not my peers. Like, right, she's 20 years older than me. But Barbie's shoe is definitely like a peer, even though she's older by 8 years, because she is within the vicinity of the teenage culture back then, and she still looked really great. Like, even when she was passing away, right? Like, she didn't look, because right now millennials don't look like millennials, meaning like millennials don't look middle aged, so to speak. Um, Maybe because we are trapped in this constant feeling of being a teenager. Um, this has this particular video is definitely not going to be logical or coherent by any means. I just kind of want to talk it out because I feel like it affecting me, but I don't have the words for it yet. Maybe, and I just feel like there is so much innocent that has died alongside with that. Like, also, like, she's not the only person who has died from the influenza that is happening in Japan. I think there is another actor that recently passed away from the same thing as well. So there is that, like, there's something going on there. Like, I think there's a flu outbreak in Asia right now. So it's a serious thing. I'm not saying it's not. But I guess I just want to talk about it from a cultural point of view and how it affects me. And it affects me in an abstract way, but also in a visceral way, because it makes me feel like, wow, yeah, we are now at that age. I feel like as soon as you hit 40, you are fair game. You basically will start to, you can expect death anytime now. Your immune system is starting to go really weak, and I feel like after 40 you are fair game. Like, there is no such thing from here on in, um, that you will say, oh, that is so young for you to die now. After 40, you are heading towards death. Basically, you hit middle age, that's it, like, that's your peak, and then now you're heading towards death. Now you have to think about, like, is this a life that I want to live? If I only have like another 3 years to live, for example, is this a life that I want to live if I only have 8 years to live? is this the life that I want to live if I only have 10 more years to live? Because I feel her death basically kind of reinforced that feeling of things can be taken away at any time, and it can be taken away at any moment now, and you can't have that sense of permanency. It's like, but and at the same time, I know like there is a lot of contradiction in what I'm saying, but at the same time I feel like I my life doesn't change much. My life hasn't changed in the past 10, 12 years, but at the same time I'm aware that even though there is not so much change, or not changes the way I want it to go, I feel like this is still the best choice of life that I have, because I feel having a different type of life where you are expected to kind of please other people rather than live your own life your way, even though it's, it's still hard, it's still better, because at least when you die you don't regret anything. You want to live a life that you don't regret. Yeah, it's hard, and yeah, you probably can do it some other way, and maybe you can appease some people or some type of creation creatively, or make something to please the masses, for example, to make lots of money, but your soul is dying. And I feel like that's not a good way to live. I know I'm definitely rambling right now, but it just give me that hit of checking again, like mortality wise, with this particular passing. But at the same time, I don't feel like sad, and I don't feel like it's affecting me to the point where I feel like I'm depressed over it. I think it's weird because like she's passing away. She passed away from a sickness, from an illness, right? It's basically like when you have COVID. Like she like that's a similar thing, although not the same. But you probably heard people passing away from COVID. I feel it's very different because in the entertainment industry, you hear people a lot of the time it's passing away because of unaliving of themselves. So this way, it feels like a lot more natural. It feels more like it's a natural, not natural, but like it's something that happened to them. It's not like something that they have chosen for themselves. And I feel like it's just a reminder that life is short and you should live your life the way you wanted it, and don't particularly engage in too much of I don't know, too much of a regret scenario, basically. Well, that's my reflection on that anyway. I will continue this in part two, I suppose. In the next one, you will see I'll probably wear the same outfit again. But for right now, that's what I want to talk about for the Barbie Sue thing. Anyway, I'll see you in the next talking vlog. Bye, everyone.